Okay, so I'm just going to quickly go over some solutions for you for the practice quiz. So for number one, it says determine whether the triangles are similar. If so, write a similarity statement and name the postulate or theorem you used. If not, explain. So for this question, you're looking for either an angle-angle similarity, side-angle-side similarity, or side-side-side similarity. Now, these two triangles, since one is kind of inside the other, have a angle included there. So we're looking at side angle side similarity possibly. We can't use side 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 because this is not given, and we can't really use angle angle similarity because none of the angles are given. So what we need to check is the ratio of the sides. So the smaller triangle here has a side length of 24. And if we put that over this entire piece, which is the side length of the bigger triangle, that will give us a ratio of this side to this side. We can do the same thing on this side with SQ, which is 16, over ST, which is this whole length, 24. So I kind of forgot to label these. So this was SP over SR. Now we want to simplify these and see if they're the same. So we can divide 24 and 36 by 12. 24 divided by 12 is 2. 36 divided by 12 is 3. We can divide 16. Oh, I wrote 26 here. This is 4. 24. 24. We can divide 16 by 8 and 24 by 8, and that would give us 2 over 3. So because these are the same and they share this angle, then that means triangle SPQ will be similar to triangle SRT by side angle side similarity. Okay, so just ignore the weird paper. So for this one, we're going to set up a proportion. In this problem, we have the big triangle, and then there's this little triangle. So in the little triangle, this side length is 10, and this is x plus 2. In the big triangle, the bottom piece is x plus 14, and this side is both x and 10 together, so x plus 10. So our proportion should be something like x plus 10 over x plus 14 equals 10 over x plus 2. When you cross multiply, you have to multiply x plus 10 and x plus 2, and then 10 times x plus 14. So over here we need to FOIL. X times x is x squared, x times 2 is 2x, 10 times x is 10x, and then 10 times 2 is 20. Equals 10 times x is 10x, 10 times 14 is 140. Okay, get everything over to one side and set this equal to 0 because it's quadratic. So we're going to subtract 10 from both sides, and when we do that, these cancel, and then subtract 140, and that just gives you negative 120, because 20 minus 140 is negative 120. Now we can factor this because a positive 12 and a negative 10 would multiply to negative 120 and add to 2x. So if we set these two factors equal to 0 and solve, that would give us an x value of negative 12 and an x value of 10. If we plug negative 12 back up here, that actually gives us a negative value here and here, which is bad. So we're going to ignore negative 12 because it's a solution to the equation, but it's not going to work for geometry class. So this is going to be our answer. Split this up and redraw the triangles. So first I'm going to draw a big triangle, a medium-sized triangle, and then a smaller triangle. So if we're looking at the big triangle, the hypotenuse is this piece. You know that because it's across the 90-degree angle. So the hypotenuse is 5 plus x. This is the shorter leg. Actually looks like the legs. So this is our shorter leg. That's x plus 2. Looking at the little triangle, or the medium-sized triangle, it looks like we only know this longer leg. And then the smaller triangle, we have this hypotenuse here, and then the shorter leg. So this triangle is kind of useless because we don't really have a lot of information there. But if you look at these two triangles, we do have corresponding sides. So we can set up a proportion and cross multiply to solve. So if we multiply across this way, we're multiplying x plus 2 times x plus 2, and then going this way, we have x and 5 plus x. So on this side, we would FOIL and get x squared plus 2x plus 2x plus 4, and this is 5x plus x squared. If you subtract x squared from both sides, these will cancel. And then if you combine the two 2x's, we get 4x plus 14 equals 5x. And then if you subtract 4x, you just get 14 equals x. And there we go. Okay, last one, we need to set up our proportion. So one option is 4x over 5x equals 4x plus 8 over 6x minus 10. Cross multiply, 4x times 6x minus 10 equals 5x times 4x plus 5, or plus 8. Then we need to distribute, so 24x squared minus 40x equals 20x squared plus 40x. We want to get everything over to one side, so I'm going to choose this side. So subtract 20x squared, and then also I'm going to subtract 40x. When I do that, 24 minus 20 is 4x squared. Negative 40 minus 40 is actually going to be negative 80, so make sure you don't accidentally cancel those. And then from here, if I take out a greatest common factor of 4x, that leaves me with x minus 20. Set these equal to 0. And then I get x equals 0 and x equals 20. Now remember, we have to be able to plug this back in and it has to make sense. If you plug 0 back in, I get a side length of 0. Doesn't make sense. So get rid of this one and keep this one.